Hi guy, why Brunei need to have a railway? Well, two reasons why Brunei need to have a railway. First reason is to send young people to work in an island, Pulau Muara Besar, which is at the other end of Brunei, in the Muara district. While 60,000 people in Brunei live in Brunei district, 50,000 in Tutong. So these people live quite far from Pulau Muara Besar. Like people living in Brunei district will have to travel 100 kilometers to reach the island. Maybe from Tutong is half that distance, but yet it is still far. You need cars, then cars will be not many in the future, I believe, because Bruneians are less able to afford cars in the future. Because the salary in Brunei is reducing. People have used to have cars or still are having cars in the house, like 5 cars in the house. Okay, but in the future it will be maybe one family, one car is common. So what it means, a family of having 5 cars, or when their children grow up and get driving license, just drive the car bought by his or her parents. But that good things will be no more, or it's difficult in the future. So just imagine the young people without cars in the future in Brunei. How are they going to work in Muara? There's no other way to come to work other than by train or railway. Maybe yes, Brunei being a small country, no need for high-speed rail. So a rail or train of 200 kilometers per hour is good enough for Brunei. So from one end to the other end will take about 1.5 hours, that's all. Of course, the train have to start early, say 5:30 or to start, so people catch that early train to work in Muara. If they miss 5:30, 5 o'clock, and then 5:30, 6 o'clock, and then 6:15. So 3 train would be just good enough. So 3 train going to Muara, and also from Muara 3 train. So what we need is 6 train or 4 coach is good enough, because Brunei is not a crowded country. So 4 coach train that can take 200 passengers at one time is good enough for Brunei. So where will be the route? Well, for Brunei, because the road from, say, Sungai Teraban to Muara Town is almost straight to Muara Town. Of course, there's bend, not but some bend, and most of the time it's straight. For the distance is 120 kilometers we reach Muara Town. And on the way, of course, we have to pick as many workers. So the number of stations will have to be a lot as well. So 16 stations, and the station will be in the area where there are many houses, like from Sungai Teraban to Muara Town, to Kolablai Town Station, then Syria Town, Lumut, and then Sungai Liang, and then Kelisai, Bukit Beruang, and then Tutong, and then Bukit Panggal, and then Enok Tutong, and then Jerudong, and then University Station, and then Lambak Kanan, and then Tanah Jambu, then Muara. So that are all the 16 stations. We need, because the idea of the train is to take workers to work in that industrial zone of Pulau Muara Besar. So that is the main reason why train is required to be built in Brunei. So what is the second reason? Of course, the second reason is to boost up tourism industry in Brunei. So government is trying to make Brunei attractive place for tourists to come. But then Brunei have been making waterfront in Bandar Sri Begawan, waterfront in KB. I think building waterfronts, making it look nice so that tourists will come. Maybe it's part of it, but the real reason of tourists coming to Brunei would be public transport, especially the railway, that they can go to see Brunei from one end to the other end. That is, I believe, attractive to the tourists. Of course, we have to make the ticket cheap as well. How cheap? $10 per entry, and back $10, meaning that with $10 a tourist can go to the other end of Brunei. So $10, that's all per entry, meaning okay, wherever he want to stop, he just enter $10. So the maximum distance he can go with $10 is 120 kilometers. That's all. Brunei is a small country, so there's no need to have ticket $5 and $10. Just $10 enough. Of course, if they pay $10, many tourists want to go to the other side of the country to maximize the distance that they travel with $10. And that's the reason, that's what we want Brunei to go to the other district, like district as well, rather than they just tour Bandar Sibikawan only. Yeah. So we want the tourists to go see the other side and make the other side of the country to prosper as well. So I have said two reasons. So a foreigner said to me she had wondered why train had not been built in Brunei. She said Brunei should be prepared for booming in tourist industry. Okay, that's fair enough. She was surprised. So I'm also surprised why it wasn't been built say yesterday or years before. And many people, maybe they were stuck to believe that Brunei having small population, so they will not get the benefit of selling tickets. Of course, Brunei is small population, so we have to think about how we make people to buy the ticket. So the simplest thing is for Brunei, the ticket is yearly. Just buy yearly ticket for $500, one person, unlimited travel. So per day is only about $1.30. 500 for 1 year. So when people go to school, they can use the train. Of course, they have to choose the school near the train station, so it's handy. Or maybe he can go to school in other district as well, not only the same district. So it's only take about half an hour to go from Kuala Lumpur to Lumut, maybe less than half an hour. So the thing is, we also have to improve the service, like having driverless bus. You can place driverless bus in every station, so people who are commuting to school can use the bus. And also, driverless bus will make Brunei look modern, so why not? So $500 with a population of 450,000, assuming 400 people buying the tickets, so 1 year 200 million. That's good enough. We have tickets 200, we have money 200 million per year. That's good enough. And what else? We encourage people to use train rather than using own cars, like people going to Bandar or people from Bandar going to Miri, or they just stop at Sungai Traban, and then there will be a bus service taking them from Sungai Traban to Miri. Maybe they just pay $10 ticket for to and fro. That save them spending on fuel, and also save their cars on wear and tear. Okay, maybe then what we are trying to achieve is that people use less cars. And when with less cars used, less fuel or less oil will be used, so oil saved is for export, because petrol is heavily subsidized in Brunei. 300 million per year, 300 to 400 million per year of subsidized oil or fuel in Brunei. So if people reducing using cars and save 2/3, then it's about 200 million already. Oil saved for export. So 200 million, so already 400 million. Then how about tourists? So say we double tourists coming to Brunei, so it's already about 1,500,000 or 1.5 million. If say they spend $40 for train ticket, that already 60 million. That's good enough, 60 million. And how much will that Brunei train cost? So Brunei train will have to be built on the corridor of the current highway, So it will be easy to do, meaning we don't have to buy land, worry about acquiring land. So the land is meant for road, also can be meant for railway. So either we build on the side of the railway, or it could also be in the middle. There's a gap in the middle. So it would be nice on the following the road corridor. So it would be with the technology of building viaduct now. Nowadays, the construction is they just build the pillars first. Then when they want to install the bridge to join each pillars is done from the top, from one end to the other end. So it's quite easy nowadays with the technology, and the cost for Brunei maximum I believe is 4 billion. So it's not too bad for 4 billion. Brunei land is not mountainous, so there's no need to make what do you call that, new borehole on the hill. There's no need to do it. So it's all on the surface. Then what else we can do? Because the trend is electric, so we can install solar power, solar panel on the side of the bridge or the viaduct. So when we do that, it's like we're having free energy to run the train. And I could see that the energy in megawatt hour we get from installing the panel all along 120 kilometers would be more megawatt hour than the megawatt hour required by the motor of the train. So we have excess power from the solar panel, which we can, of course, distribute it to the houses and maybe get compensated for selling electrical energy to the grid. Oh, it's quite handy, guy, and it's viable. The Brunei should have a railway, so don't delay it, because the Galap A is about to come to Brunei with 20 aircraft, passenger plane 20. That's a lot, and they will bring tourists from China. They will stop in 9 airports in China and then come to Brunei. So there will be a lot of Chinese tourists who come to Brunei. So Brunei will be made like a hub. So if Chinese tourists want to go to Australia, they stop in Brunei, then there will be another jet taking them to Australia. And also people from Australia, they want to go to China, they have to stop in Brunei. So we have to make Brunei a nice and friendly place for tourists, especially making them feel comfortable to travel around Brunei using a railway, of course, in a train, of course, or rather than in a bus or a car. I think many would believe or prefer traveling by train, considering the price $10 unlimited. Thank you very much for listening.